Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, it's the final day of my short weekend, and you may recall in our last video that we started building a Christmas village that I'm going to put on this table here behind me. And what we're going to do today is we're going to extend the width of this table to make it about 4 feet wide from its current 22 inches wide. That should just about a little bit more than double the real estate on there. It's going to give me a lot of room for trains and buildings and all sorts of fun stuff. Now I got to go head over to Home Depot to pick up some of the supplies. So I'm going to do that now, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. Okay, I'm back from Home Depot. I've picked up my supplies. Basically what I got is a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood. This is pine, so it's a little softer than the oak that I usually work with. It's also a little less expensive, but it's also got a few little blemishes, but I don't really care that much about that. This is about providing a platform. It's only going to be used during the Christmas season. It's going to be covered up, so as long as it's flat, that's all that matters. And I also got some 2x4s, and let me explain to you what I want to do with this. As I said, what I want to do is extend the width of this table out to about here. And that's going to give me, basically a 4-foot by 11-foot long path to do all sorts of fun stuff here. So what I want to do is I want to cut the 2x4s in about half and bolt them to the underside of this thing, have them stick out to about here, and then that will be the platform that I'll attach the plywood to all the way across. And ultimately, like I said, I want it to be nice and flush between this surface and the piece of plywood that I'm going to install. And it's got to be level and all that fun stuff. And I think we'll accomplish that with my plans. So let's get going on this. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut my support brackets. And those are the things that are the 2x4s that are going to be attached to the underside of the existing table. They're going to provide the support for the extension of the platform. I've decided I'm going to do 7 of these. It's going to be 1 on each end, 1 in the middle, and then 2 between the end and the middle one. So that's going to be 7 of them at 44 inches each. I've completed the support brackets now. Basically what I did is I set up a line here at about 4 inches and again at about 22 inches. And this is going to go into the underside of the table, but not be deep enough to the point where it comes through the top side of the table. That's the important part. So what I've actually done is I need a little bit more of the screw, the lag bolt coming out of the board there. So I actually countersunk these things a little bit. So they're about 1/4 of an inch beneath the surface of the wood. That kind of keeps everything flush and neater looking too. And it gives me a little bit more meat to dig into when the time comes. Next thing I got to do is put these things into place, drill holes, and make sure that the holes I drill are not too deep. Now to make sure that I don't go too deep on this when I'm drilling out the hole, I've actually chosen my drill bit and put a piece of tape at the level that's the depth I want to go. So when I hit that depth, I know I'm not going to go any further, and if I only go that 1 inch down, I'm not going to go an 1.5 inches through the wood and blow a hole in the top of the countertop, because we definitely do not want to do that. Alright, so there's the first one right there in place. It actually went on pretty easy. Once you get everything kind of set up, they just pop right into place. And now we've got the first piece of the platform that will support the extra width of the table. Now I'm going to go put the rest of them on, and I'll show you what that looks like in a few minutes. Alright, there's the support platforms now all the way across. I've done 5 of them, and I think that'll be enough to support the 3/4 inch plywood that's going to sit on top of it. Now there's one little problem I have to contend with, and I knew this was going to be an issue from the beginning, and let me show you what that is. Now, with the exception of the fact that the pieces are a little bit too long and I'm going to have to cut them back a little bit, the other problem is this thing is 2 pieces of plywood thick, and I'm only putting 1 piece of plywood on top of it. So I've got a little bit of an offset here. Like I said, I knew that was going to be an issue, and basically I'm just going to put a spacer underneath each one of these platforms, and that will provide the additional lift or elevation that I need to make everything flush up. Then I can cut the thing to size. I want to kind of route and smooth off the edges a little bit so it isn't that visible. And then this project's going to be pretty much done. So I'm going to build those little spacer pieces right now, and we'll go from there. All right, I got the spacers put in on all the levels here, and we've put the platform on the thing now so that I can draw the line where the edge has got to be, and it is a nice smooth transition now. In fact, it will be a little better when I get the screws on the back. Right now I just got a couple of screws holding up the front, and the weight hanging off the end is kind of making it bow up a little bit here. But once I cut that off and secured it, the 3 locations, this is going to be pretty much ready to go. Now I do want to take the router and smooth this off a little bit, make this rounder along here. And so let's go out in the garage now, and we're going to cut this down, and we're going to route it, and then we're going to put this thing back on, screw it into place, and we should be done for tonight. So a little time has passed, and I've now sliced off the part of the platform that isn't going to be needed anymore, and it's the right length all the way across now. I think all I really need to do now is I want to route out the edges here, so it's kind of a rounded corner, kind of like I have on this thing here. And then we're going to reattach it, and I think we're going to be done with this project. We'll be ready to move on to the next part. So I'm going to do that, and I'll catch up with you in a little bit. So there's the final project right there. I've gone along and rounded out the corners here so that that's good to go. See, this is one of the beauties of this living room. Is I have so much space in here that I've been able to extend the distance of the table almost to nearly 2 full feet, and I still have plenty of room to go through here. So this is going to be really good. I'm going to take the little snow that I got, and we're going to wrap that out here and unroll it and see what it looks like. But it should cover this whole area. It should make this whole area look like a little snowy platform. So that's what we're going for. Now all we got to do is get the train in here and maybe get some village elements and all that fun stuff. But we have a good place to start at this point. And the real beauty of this is I can take this off whenever I want to. So when the season's over, I can take this part off, put it away, and it'll just be the normal table again, and there's no damage whatsoever done to the table because all of the attachment is from the underneath. So let me put the snow on here and give you an idea what the whole thing will look like. So yeah, the snow completely covers the area. It looks pretty good. You know, there's a little bit of folds and stuff in there you can see in it, but when I get some like the village in there and get the train on there, that'll flatten everything out over time. And I think this is going to look really fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this thing goes over the next few years, because like I said, it's going to take a little while to build this up, but I think we got a good start, and we're just going to play it by ear now. So there you go. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.